almost busted out in Whitney, Houston.
Yep.
I almost did it, but I didn't. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of On the Back Hash. We talk all things pageantry arts. Name said, join with me as usual is Will, Zach, and Chris. How's everybody doing today?
I'm in the pits of Joe riding hell.
Boy, I wish we had a hit record during what just happened, what just transpired.
I would have to
completely banned off of YouTube.
Retire and step away from all
no
activities.
one's teaching anymore.
Well,
it's okay. This is it's a safe space for me to discuss how I really feel about things with you all, and there is no judgment.
I mean, that was the safe. I mean, it's a safe space, but I did not feel safe.
Table didn't either.
Yeah.
Dude, it bounced. Like you
that's reason why I disappeared. I was like, yeah, y'all having an earthquake down there. What is happening?
Oh man,
I was legitimately concerned for your equipment.
Oh, guys, we're in the throes of band camp. If you wanted to know,
yeah.
And professional development.
Professional development.
Yeah.
And next week's gonna be even worse because it's that and open houses. I love my job.
I already have 14 meetings already, like within the first 12 days of school, which is crazy.
Yeah, you big boy though. You leadership team.
I am. I have moved into the leadership role. So
back to school.
Boy.
Back to school.
It's here.
Y'all getting them commercials yet?
Oh, we've been getting them.
I used to try to avoid them.
I avoid TV. I avoid Walmart, Target, anywhere they have back to school stuff. I don't want to see it. I want it out of my mind.
So you're shopping at Aldi's for the next.
Yay, Aldi!
Me and Zach had a good Aldi discussion on the way home one day about all the things you can get at Aldi.
I love Aldi.
I have a good month before I even start seeing anything.
Oh, school, because they don't start school until November.
Basically.
Jeez.
Bank camp happens over Christmas break.
See. It has been in the low 60s, upper 50s today. Yeah.
What in the world?
It can make sense. I don't know.
How do you not have pneumonia?
I don't understand it.
Saturday was 84.
80.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been cool here today.
I'm trying to figure out what we did. I thought it was raining a minute ago, so I'm like, God, dog, bro.
They just wake up and spin a wheel for whatever weather.
Literally.
Yay!
Tsunami today. Okay.
All right. Cloudy with a chance of locusts.
Not locusts. The plague.
I didn't know we get all these plagues coming in.
Oh boy. Oh man. But yeah, it's going well. We had our first regular day of camp. We did a bunch of pre-camp stuff last week, and then today was our first regular. Well, as of this recording, our first regular day of camp. And it went well.
We set some drill today, so
we got our opener today. But it happened. I was, when you write a piece that has 6 sharks in it, it's for band.
Yes.
The Cedric special, everybody.
Hey, listen.
That's what I told my kids when you wrote our show. I said, guys, I know the guy that arranged this. There's 2 things he likes to do. 1, weird key signatures. 1, weird time signatures.
Prepare yourself.
I don't think you're going to get any weird time signatures in this. 5-4, I guess.
We got a lot of
then I did the 3-3-3-2 stuff. Yeah. So. That too.
I used to back when I was still with. No, I was about to say back when I was still with you at East. I used to jack Ian and Brandon them up they get mad at me. All that stuff that was written over the bar line. I was like, look, don't come to me with none of this. This is you go to that man.
We
Like,
wrote shows
Slam 5
together.
could have been on P3, but no.
When we first started kind of just randomly writing shows together, like nobody was playing it. It was just
Oh
writing
God.
stuff. I think I put something like 7, 8. It was the mathematics show, I think that's what it was that we did, and the closer was in 5, 8, 7, 8, I think.
Gosh.
And Will was like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Dude, it's cool." Like I hate
we had
you.
we had that one percussion feature one year where it was in 7/8.
7, 8, yeah.
And we just told the kids like the other kid like the wins was like we're gonna march it in 7s.
Well, it's Blueco's fault. They did that was the Metropolis year when they did Angels and Demons, and I was like, "Ooh, this sounds cool." So I wrote our drum break in 7, 8, and I've not looked back since. I hate 4/4 time. I do. I do. I feel so limited. I don't know why.
That's why I appreciate mainstream music that actually uses anything but 4/4. Like, all right, we actually know what other meters are.
Or just use it in a smart way or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's 4/4 is fine. It's just got to be entertaining in some type
It
of
can
way.
get very vanilla.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why you got. I don't think it's because of this, but that's why you got a lot of people who are up and down about the group Tool because they use
That's
that
exactly why.
a lot. Some people just don't like Tool just because they don't like the sound of them. But
Yeah.
They love
Dave Matthews.
Yeah. I mean, you got a lot of prog rock folks that are using mixed meters and stuff like that now. And it's super hip, super cool. Like, music's awesome. I love music. It's so cool. I'm glad my hobby is my job. You know? It makes going to work a lot easier. Yep. Everybody's like, you can deal with middle school kids? Like, yeah, it's fun. We get to make music all day.
Yep.
Aren't they bad? Sometimes. Aren't adults bad? Adults?
Sometimes adults are worse.
Way worse.
They're just big kids.
Yeah, I'm like, the difference is middle schools don't know any better.
You ever been to a faculty meeting? They're just like kids. Good Lord Almighty.
I've been saying the definition of adult needs to be changed decades ago.
Big child. That's your name now. No adults. Big child.
Big baby.
Big baby.
Big time. Oh, man. All right, we had a big weekend this past weekend with our first major regional of the DCI season. We're gonna get into that for sure. But I do want to give a little shout out. I'm getting the love right now. Talk about what's happening in the all age and open class divisions because they going at it too. Start with all age, and I'm looking up the stuff from Drum Rate. They keep it up to date per day. And they're, like I said, they're doing the Lord's work. They are separating stuff by captions and rankings. And then they got, like, the last time this group did this was in this year on this date. And they just do a lot of really, really cool stuff. So kind of looking at it, I think they are dividing the all age course into a open and world. I believe that is a thing that they are doing. Drum Rank has so graciously said what every core is in, divisions in. So just kind of look at it. You got right now your three-headed race of world class and just overall in all ages. You got Buccaneers, Bushwhackers, and the Hawthorne Caballeros. They all competed. They had a big all-age open class show this past week, so they all competed together. Buccaneers sitting up top with an 87.95. Bushwhackers, they are not.
They're not playing. That show's crazy.
I can't. I want to see it live. I wish I could see it live. Bushwhackers 85.3 sitting second. Caballeros third with an 85.05, and then in fourth behind them, Cincinnati Tradition. They don't have a classification by their name, so I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're not going or I don't know.
It says in the note below that they're divided into classes at some shows throughout the season for ease of use. They're shown together, noted class, and the princess. So maybe it's
Maybe they haven't gone to a show where they've been divided yet.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. If somebody knows, let us know in the comments down below. Fifth place, your top open class group right now is the White Sabres, sitting at 77.95. Hurricanes, another world class group, right behind them, 77.75. Rogues Hollow, open class, 77.4. Atlanta CV, no class specification, but they haven't gone out since the 9th. But that July 9th score, 76.65.
So we'll see them this weekend for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, because,
Yeah.
probably a big show coming up that they would be at,
yeah,
I would assume.
close to where they live.
Yeah, might even be their namesake. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fusion Core, another open class group, 76.0. Governors, no classification specification, 70.8.
I feel like they're like A.
It might be.
I think.
Sunrisers, the first group listed as A, with 70.05. Columbus Saints, 69.1, no specification. And then the Skyliners rounded it out, 67.0. So, the all age scores, man, looking pretty, like, some of them all age scores.
I've seen 13 of them.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be more. I really do think DCI is a good umbrella for them. And I think you could see that the all age scores grow. I really think you could.
Well, you're getting the resources from DCI that DCA just really didn't have a chance to have, because it's just all age, right? You have world class at really, just like I'm talking about, like, college sports. Football is the big driver, right? That's your big money maker, and all the other groups kind of, feed off of that. Same thing, world class is the big feeder. You trickle down into there. But I think I'm still interested, like, when we get to championships, if they'll all just go together.
I think they're going to keep them separate.
Are they? Okay.
We'll see, though. I need to look, but it seems like they're going to keep them separate, which is cool. That's fine. Somebody put it, kind of smart. It's like, it'd be kind of weird for a group such as, like, the Buccaneers or the Bushwhackers to be going head to head with one of those smaller groups.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I was like, well, that makes sense, especially since, if you haven't seen the Buccaneers or Bushwhackers or the Caballeros, check out a video because it is really high quality stuff. I'm wondering if they could sneak in the finals if they were allowed to compete. How close could a Buccaneers get to actually making finals?
They're using DCI sheets.
They are using DCI sheets, but I think they are using the all age brand, if that makes sense.
I get you, yeah.
Because I like Buccaneers. I don't know if they're on the same page as Vanguard.
Sitting 6 right now?
Yeah, sitting as Vanguard and Manders. They're great. They're fantastic. I don't know if they're there, but I can see them messing around with Scouts and Troopers and Crossmen. I could. So, and another cool thing that I like is, like, you're seeing all age corps and open class corps having their own shows because there's enough of them to field their own shows. So that's kind of cool too. Both up to the size of those shows. So I think lots of really good things are coming from.
Well, I think we saw. We talked about this early, like beginning of this kind of go around with the DCI season, that we had that classification routes or whatever. I think 2 of the 3 groups are in that. What do we call that?
The evaluation portal.
Yeah, 2 of those groups were going all age. I think, like, Minnesota and Brass was all age.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and then was Zephyrus all age, or were they open? I know Memphis.
Memphis would be open class next year.
Yeah,
there'll be an open class. What is it? Affiliate?
Yeah.
I had a former student march there this summer. So they did their first year of the 3-year cycle with their 3-year program. They got gold rating.
Who's this?
Brooke.
Which group?
Memphis
Memphis Blues or Sound.
Blues.
Memphis.
Yeah.
Um, so they kind of did like the Sound Sport thing this year, and then next year they're going to be open class. So,
I mean, if I'm right, 2 of the 3 are going to be open class. I mean, all age cores. So, I mean, I definitely think if a lot of those Sound Sport groups want to take that leap, I don't see why they couldn't.
there's now a clear path to do it.
Yeah.
It's smartly laid out because it's not. Oh, okay, here you go. You're in, and then you're trying to figure out, navigate all of this stuff.
And I think that's been the biggest problem is that a lot of people, I feel like, don't use Sound Sport the way they should. Right? They're just like, I can do this. That we can be open. Let's just go open. Let's go for it. Instead of like, well, maybe you should try, here first to get your bearings, and then, But now there's a clear pathway for that, so you kind of have to go that way.
Yeah.
Keeps organizations longer, and all that good stuff. So
I think it works out. All right. In open class, right now, according to numbers, you have Spartans up top with a 75.85. Blue Devils B second, but they haven't gone out since the 14th.
That'll flip flop.
So that'll be a big change. 73.7. Then you have Battalion sitting third, 72.8. Pretty cool show. Blue Devil show is awesome. Sacred
that Blue
Geometry.
Devil shows. That show is a world class show. I'm sorry, like it's there. It's good.
It's good.
Yep. So, Battalion's in third. Gold 471.25. River City Rhythm 70.9. Impulse 65.75. Colombian 64.95. Guardian 64.375 and 8th. Cold Cadets 9th. Golden Empire 10th. Raiders 11th. Vessel 12th. 7th Regiment 13th. Ain't that the group that always win all the perks? But they ain't gone out since June.
Yeah. I think it is.
Don't get Zach started on that.
53.35. Well, am I gonna say it? I'll say it. I'll say it for you, Zach. I'll take one for you. About 40 points of that 53 is probably repercussion. Ain't that the core that has the core is 75% drums?
Yeah, something like that.
The drum line is always freaking massive, but they just can't seem to get any win players.
And then BDC, I'm running up the bottom, 52.25, respectable, man. I think them, Vessel, Golden Empire, and Impulse are not going to World Championships. I believe
would be correct.
No.
And then
Yeah,
I think
they got a
Guardians,
star by their name because they're not going.
I think Guardians is cutting theirs short too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. We learned about that earlier in the season. So open class, that Spartans BD gap may not be as big as we think. Because Spartans put 3 on Battalion. That's quite a bit.
Spartan show is good, though.
Yeah, it is.
BD show is good,
we
too.
talked about where we think they're going to world class next year.
Who?
We already kind of mentioned that, didn't we, Spartans? We mentioned that at the beginning of the year. Yeah. Talk about their show title and stuff. And
I think that was Guardians that had world class in
was it?
But
let's look.
I don't know about that.
Guess I'll let you look that up.
Yep.
But,
as scores stand right now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 open class groups that would make semifinals.
That's crazy.
And semifinals is top 25.
Well, that's how many they took last year, so I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think it's the same.
Yeah, so Spartans, Blue Devils B, Battalion, Gold, and River City Rhythm are all in the semifinals right now.
You were correct. It was Guardians that we were talking about. So,
thank you.
That's crazy. I don't see him doing it.
No comment. You know that text I sent you, Will. Anyways,
so
we love that.
Anyway,
so yeah, open class is pretty good too. Get hot fire going on there. So So you might not be able to get to a big show, like with a lot of world class groups. But if you can get to one of these all age or open class shows, I think you'll be entertained just as much.
Yes.
I think for all my folks that are like real drum corps, I think you get that with those guys. I think
when you think about your top 4 all age groups, those are your big ones, and then like I would say probably your top 5 open groups, maybe 7 maybe.
Impulse is in 6 right now, and they're not going. So that would mean Colombians are in 6, and they ain't been out since the 6th of July.
Yeah. So a lot of these guys are like a
Colombians have
tour.
beat Cascades this year.
But apparently Colombians isn't going either.
Are they not?
I wish they would, because they've got a shot at semis. Because they beat Cascades, and Cascades are going to make semifinals.
No, Guardians is not going.
No, I'm talking about, because I had said something about Colombians.
No.
And then I think Sid was like, it's sad because they not going to finals or something like that.
Oh,
and I didn't know.
Say that about them? I thought I said that about Guardians or Genesis or somebody.
I'm pretty sure it was Columbia because we were talking about them and I was comparing them because I hadn't seen it.
I remember me seeing that, but I think I was saying that in reference to something else. But I just said what you said.
Yeah. I mean, I could have got it confused with them.
Or else if I said it, I heard. Yeah. I don't know. There might be a lineup somewhere we can find.
I'm looking on. Hold on.
Okay. So everybody's looking up stuff. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and start talking about the big. Huh? What?
They've got championship prelims on their calendar on their website.
Yeah, I just looked at
So hopefully that means they're going. Come on, Colombians. Go to prelims and make semifinals, because I know you can do it.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. And now for the big shoe. The big shoe. That's an old Ed Sullivan reference. I'm showing my age right now. Tonight we got a really big show.
I got you. I'm with you.
We got some of our fans will appreciate that. Anyway, so San Antonio happened this past weekend, and boy howdy, it was a decent.
If you caught our live show, you heard some things.
Heard some things, seen some stuff. So we're just going to kind of run it down, and then if we feel the need to talk about something, we can talk about it. So from the bottom to the top, Jersey Surf, 21st place, 68.875. I love them. I just thank you for being in drum corps and making people smile. I want them one year to have a really killer show. Like, still do what they do, but like it just be like crown hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they get in the finals.
Really go for it.
Yeah, just like,
like really laying down, like really design.
That's good.
Everything you got.
They get the Blue Coast to design them like a Beatles show, a different one. Maybe a Doors show, the Doors or something. Man, I like. Go ahead.
I said, presenting the music of ABBA, Jersey Surf.
Hey,
Blue Coats.
hey, that might be sick.
Call me, but I don't want to write your drill. So,
what? That'd be all right. Dude, you can write whatever you wanted.
I know.
Imagine that.
That is true. Maybe they can march a step bigger than an 8 to 5 in time.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna get started again. We got to change the subject.
If a drum corps was like, "Hey man, listen, if I ever got a shot to write for a drum corps, which I almost had the shot, and then the drum corps floated, but if I ever had the shot again, boy, howdy." All
right, so after Jersey Surf was Cascade.
Yeah, Cascades in 20 for 69.225. So Jersey Surf closed that gap between them. Genesis, 70.225. I really like the show. I do. Mm-hmm. It's raw. Like they just go after it. They just come out and be like, here we are. deal with it.
Yeah.
And I like it. They are struggling in the visual caption, though. They were last in the visual caption, getting beat by Cascades and Jersey Service. Jersey Service like 19th in visual package.
Let's go.
So there are things to be done. But I like it. Music City with a little bit of a gap over 19, sitting 18th for 74.35. I like it.
I do too.
I do too. I ain't mad at it.
I like it. It's just
I
like
don't think they have the caliber. Yeah,
man, it's
because they've got the design team, they've got the package. They're just missing the right quality of players, I guess you can say.
They gotta play with the buckets on their heads backwards. It's a lot of buckets.
I'm not.
Yeah, they hopefully that talent pool can get to either stay there or broaden its range a little bit. But it's hard, man. You got a group we're going to talk about here a little bit later, Spirit. You got them not too far, from there. And
Blue Stars aren't far.
Blue Stars aren't too far. And, so Crown's kind of not too far either, really. So it's hard, man. It's I know we've been talking about, or we've been playing college football, but it's like that recruiting pipeline, man. Because you gotta get him in. Keep him. 17th place, Academy with a 75.0. I like the show better than I have the past years, but I just think everybody else just has so improved so much.
It's definitely a step in the right direction for them. It's just, like you said, that the gap stayed there because everybody else got equally as much better as Academy has this year.
I mean, they're literally sitting in every single category except for percussion. They're sitting right at that 17th spot. Percussion, they're 14th right now. So
I believe it. There's some good drumming happening in Arizona. Some good training going on down there. So I'm not surprised by that at all. Then Spirit of Atlanta.
They won
Creatures.
Fan favorite at
They
San
did.
Antonio.
They're Flo Martin fan favorite. Spirit of Atlanta. It's in 16th with a little bit of a gap over Academy, 2.3 points. So with 77.35. So really, really cool, interesting show. Y'all brought out some pretty good points about what y'all thought some of the creatures were, how the creatures were coming out of our own heads. So I think one of y'all said that, right?
It was Zach, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't say that. I was like, did I imagine that? That thought coming out of my own head. Anyway, but you had that, so the setup of the field is kind of intriguing.
It's got a very unique aesthetic going on.
Yeah,
I like it. I was worried it might be too BOA-ish. So I was like, but
it's just
they did it well.
Yeah, they play really well. I think they're one of there's, if I remember right, they were sitting pretty good at the San Antonio show.
Music 14th.
Yeah, so like I say, it's not bad. I just think visually it's lacking. Yeah.
It's
tough.
Yeah.
They're 16 in GE, 15 in visual, 14 in music.
Yeah, so I think that's where they're lacking right now, as the scores show. So, but I like that show. I do.
So Spirit doing some really good things. Pacific Crest 15th by a mere 0.025. So yeah,
that's nuts.
Somebody blinked. 77.375 to 77.35 for Pacific Crest. So it's continuing to get better. I don't think it's like last year where last year I felt like they came out hot.
They came on fire last year,
and then just ran out of gas. This year maybe an opposite thing. I mean, they were good to start this year, but I still felt like they had somewhere they could grow. 15 GE, 16 visual, 16 music. So, where am I? Blue Knights, 14th. This might have been a little. Sorry, did I say that right? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I didn't scroll up. Okay. I was still looking at the caption stuff. Blue Knights, 14th, with a little bit of a jump, 79.1. I think maybe, this one and the next one, I think were the two sort of shockers. A little bit.
I don't. I agree with you. What I'm gonna say. But I think the other way. I don't think there's that big of a gap between them and Pacific Crest right now.
Oh, you don't agree with the spread? 1.8.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that. I don't know. That's a big gap between them. I don't know if that was like just where they went on, or how I don't know what the order was. I can't remember what it was, but
it was Blue Knights 12th in music. That'll do it.
That's it right there. Okay.
Blue Knights 12th in music. Pacific Crest was 16th in music.
There's a gap. Okay. So
they beat them in all captions, but that's pretty pretty huge.
That's your gap right there.
And due to some of our very smart and cultured, intelligent fans that was on our live stream, we kind of got an idea of, I think, what we think is about. Apparently, busk is a word or terminology used for street performers. Which, so that kind of put things in a little perspective of that show. So now the next time I watch it, I can be like, okay, let's see if we can see that in the show, and I'll bet it'll click a little bit more for me. But,
so what does it mean?
It means to perform, or like music or some sort of entertainment, like on the streets.
That's why,
in
like
public,
in their quote,
for money.
Yeah, yeah. In their quote, they talk about making the sidewalks into stages, right? So that goes into the street.
So it's like street performers.
Yeah.
So
for money.
So what would the pose be?
Street pole? A light pole?
A light pole, maybe?
Stripper pole? I don't know.
Could be.
Equal opportunists here.
Outside stripping.
You got to make your money somehow.
It could be anything from like playing a guitar to juggling, or I mean, I guess you could even like those people that are like fake statues. That could even be considered street performing, I guess.
They need to do that. If they aren't, they need a whole mime section. It's just silent. Move.
So,
that's some Ayala stuff.
Like literally.
The whole show.
Literally. Play a hot 2 minutes and then don't do nothing else.
See.
And then get third. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. They were clean. They did it. I liked it. It's good. 13th, first out of finals. Crossman. I don't think people saw that one coming. With the show Lush Life. We're going to let Will cry here in a second. 79.925 for Crossman. I like it. It's a good breath of fresh air show compared to a lot of other shows that we're seeing this year.
I think I mentioned in our live show, like, all of Crossman's shows I like listening to. Like, they're always good to listen to, but like watching it has never been a big thing. I think that's kind of like this year too. Like, I like the music. The music's awesome. But
well, it's funny that you say that, Christopher.
I know.
Because 12th GE, 12th visual, 15th in music.
Well, like I said, sometimes you like things that people don't like. But
so yeah.
Well, they've always been that group that like they execute well.
Mhm.
They never are bad at executing well. I think there might be a couple shows that
one of my favorite shows, they did it's like they had voodoo out there or something. Had like a table and it had like the skull on it.
I vaguely remember what you're talking about, but I can't
think of the name of it.
I got nothing.
But I always remember that scene
Mm.
from that year. I think they did Pat too.
They used to do Pat all the time, yeah. Like they the reason why I like Pat Metheny. And I'm doing it with my group this year.
Again.
That's the opener. Again.
Hey.
It's good stuff, man. He's got so many things. That's the thing. Like, I've done so much Pat Metheny, but I haven't repeated a tune yet.
Yeah.
I haven't. Lots of good stuff. And my kids like it, which makes it even better. All right. And then 12th place. Will, would you like to get honors? God bless. Who's in 12th right now, Will?
You tell me.
I mean, there's a show tonight, so you might want to go.
For those of you that are watching, Will just pulled the tiniest fleur-de-lis out of nowhere to tell us that the Madison Scouts are right now sitting in finals.
12th place with an 80, sorry,
0.05.
80.05.
No matter what the number is, as long as they're in, right?
I don't care.
Do we need to keep it positive on this, or do we?
Yes, please, because you, Mr. Powerlawn over here, you had Will all depressed. He was happy that they were in finals, and then he was like, but, and then he was just done. And then, like, Zach earlier tonight was fine, and then he was like, but these, and then I'm like, oh, man.
Mr. Optimistic is my nickname.
Oh, my goodness. Listen, I thought it was a great run. I really did.
Good. They really threw one down.
It ain't going to be handed.
No.
The spot is not going to be handed to them.
They used their slot really well. Go ahead.
It just, I may be reading into it, but by the way that they came out and did what they did, it seemed like they've got a mentality that they believe that they've got a shot and that they can do it. And now they've got the score and the placement to prove it.
Yeah.
So, if anything, that just reinforced that belief, and they're going to be working their tails off even more now. But then that also means that Crossman's going to be working their tails off to get that spot.
That too. Because I told a former scout friend of mine, as we were talking about it, and I told him, I said, dude, I think this year, out of the years that, they're trying to find their identity and stuff, I said, this is the most grown-up sound I've heard from them. Like, the sound sounds more mature, or it's working its way to being mature, and they are actually, they feel more cohesive as a unit as when they perform now, at least for this show. Now they are hurting in percussion. I can't even deny that they're hurting big time in percussion, and I need them to go nip that in the bud.
And just imagine if they were just a little bit of improvement in that.
It could be a
sure thing. Like
it can be a world of difference for them, and they can ride this wave and go ahead and sneak their foot into finals, and that be like, but because like I said, the rest of them groups ain't gonna just let them stay there. They not. They got a good slot today. I heard show got pushed back, but still they got a pretty decent slot when they go on today.
Yeah, this week it's like one of the last four
it's
groups.
Really good. They go on after Colts. And like I said, I mean they're really putting it down. So they just gotta all I say, man, just stay on this momentum, man. Stay on this momentum. Whatever y'all are telling each other, whatever y'all are doing there, continue to do it. Keep pushing. Don't do something that you're gonna regret or whatever. But yeah, focus on the percussion and go and make this final push for real. because that's hype for me.
Yeah, it'll be if they make finals, it'll be one of those moments like Troopers.
It will.
In Mandarins
And
when
they'll
they make
go on.
finals.
And they'll go if they're 12th. They go on first. I mean,
Right.
that place is going to be. I mean, talk about pop.
It's going to be good because that closer is nice, and I really like the arrangement of it. And I think it'll be a good opener for finals for people in general for that show.
Yeah, it's real done. It's really well done. So, just kind of looking 13 GE, 11 visual, 13 music. So
It's the perk, man.
That ain't bad. It's the perk killing them, bro. God,
Guard ain't bad either. I don't think. Guard.
No, the guard is good too.
Yeah, it's in 11th.
Which is wild because I was talking to my friend about that too. The color guard is usually the section that's hurting them all the time. They're usually hurting in color guard, but now it's flip flopping. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah. So good for Scouts. I'd love to see it. I'd be super happy. I'll be ready in my seat, ready to go for all of my goodies. 11th place, Troopers, 81.875. Probably one of the best closers of the year. Very exciting, very in your face.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people like it. For me personally, I get it. It's fine. They do it well.
I was going to tell you, Sid. I follow a lot of things on Twitter, and like it's literally almost like a 50-50 split.
50-50 split.
Either people like really like this show. It's almost like I was thinking about like Star Wars, like it's people's like favorite movies, and like either like for like Troopers, either people really like this one or they don't like it and they like the second one, and the people like the third one don't like the second one. So like it's so funny seeing it on like people loving this show.
Mm-hmm.
But then they'll be like, nah. You know.
Out of this group of 3 shows that apparently all connect and go together, I think the Ecstasy of Gold show is my favorite still.
Oh, the first one's the best one by far.
Yeah, I like the first one. I'll say for me, it's the first one, the third one, and then the second one.
I agree with you on that. That's about mine too. Yeah.
Which is kind of how the Star Wars OG trilogy goes.
But I mean, it is done well. Like taking aside like how I feel about the show, it's done
my
well.
opinion.
Your opinion is wrong.
Yeah, it's done really, really well. I think for me is at the end, I know what they're doing. Everything that they do at the end is like we're going to do everything we possibly can to get the crowd hype. Here's the 11. Here's the 666s. Here's the reverse pentagram. Here's the lightsaber stabbing the devil. I still don't know how that does. But like, and here's when Johnny comes marching home. There's a mini sunburst with the guard during that moment. Like it's like they layer it and then the almost infinity chords. Like they do. Like okay, we're gonna smack you in the face.
It's like what everything iconic about this chord, we're gonna throw it at you in the closer.
Man, but the crowd, dude, the crowd.
Oh, the crowd!
Like, they're eating it up, dude. I mean, going crazy.
And so I was sitting there watching. I was like, the ending alone keeps them in finals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The ending alone, and they have a nice opening hit too. They do. Yeah. It's a nice opening hit. The Johnny Cash, it works. It works.
I wish the arrangement was different.
A little bit more different, yeah. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But listen, man, Trooper's a trooper.
Yep.
So let them do what they do. I like it. I'm interested to see what's coming up next, though. Now that they're done with this trip,
like what is the next phase for them?
So
I like the look. I think they need to keep the look going.
Yes.
The dusters and the hats and stuff.
Or maybe
how do you go? Yeah, I was saying color scheme.
Color scheme more than anything.
Yeah, because I feel like you keep those dusters, you're going to get like a repeat of like these shows.
People are going to think.
They need to think like Blue Devils. Blue Devils keeps the same color scheme, but they change the uniform enough.
Yeah. And there's a lot of
to make it work.
Designs and cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the next step for those guys. So be really interesting. But they got some work to do if they want to catch up with the Colts sitting in the top 10 spot. These boys and girls are on fire, man. They keep improving week after week.
Come on.
getting better, cleaning.
Come on. Get in single digits.
I want him
Yeah.
to catch him, dude. I want him.
I want it to happen so bad.
TIF
Ooh.
across the board, and all three captions. So they listen. They may. There's just some really good stuff happening. Guys and girls are playing well. They're moving well. Visual design is great. I'm wondering.
It's music kind of holding back right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that just for them, the show design is what's holding them back a little bit. And I like the show,
It might be.
but now we're talking about like to hit the next tier to get up there with the
Yeah,
It might be.
you know
like
yeah.
everything together, the three
Yeah.
levels. Yeah, I'm with you.
So, but I love what they're doing. I really do. And First Circle, Pat Metheny, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. It's so much better, so much better.
Well,
So
you said the same thing about Minwana last year too.
I did. Oh my God, that hurt my feelings so bad. I made that our opener last year.
Yep. They got it together though.
They did. And it seems to be the thing this year. And the Culture, one of those groups, they played quite a bit of Pat Metheny too, throughout their existence. I mean, they've played. I'm pretty sure they've done Letter from Home before, and then of course the First Circle. They've done quite a bit of Pat Metheny in their history as well. So I always root for them. So good for them. Solidly a TIFF. I don't see them dropping. I think they're safely in the top 10.
Nah, yeah, Troopers ain't gonna catch him.
So good for those guys. Ninth place, Cavaliers. Much better group. Much better. It felt for me. So it was so much better that it felt like they changed some of their stuff, like music book,
They did.
drill book. Things are just coming across a lot better.
I think they had to.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first time seeing it. Was Saturday night, and I guess the best way I can explain it is it's Cavs. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's quintessential Cavaliers.
You're going to get what you're going to get with the Cavs. It's not doing anything like out of the box. It's not doing anything.
I think the colors and what you see, like props and stuff like that. Like if you put them out on the field, you put the props out on the field. You see the colors, you see the uniforms, and you see this. To me, that's Cavs. Once they start moving and doing everything else and playing and stuff like that, that ain't Cavs.
Those that remember the Cavs from early 2000s or just the 2000s in general, like the Ox. You see that, and you want to see Michael Gaines drill so bad.
None of it. Like
you want to see that so bad, and I think that's just one reason why we're just like, dang, man.
And I think it's a lot of that is hurting because if by some miracle they could have, I don't know, man, I'm just spitballing stuff like that. If they could have done this show but had like the visual presentation of 007 or something, I don't know, like movement wise, maybe some could be different, but I mean, it's a lot of this ain't it, Cavs. And I mean, but it's Cavs. So you know that they are going to clean up stuff. They're going to do things to make themselves get tighter, get better with the product that they have. And I do feel like that they have done that. You can hear a lot of stuff that has gotten watered down and or just changed in general. Mm-hmm. So that part isn't shocking to me because that's what they do. Like if something's hurting, they're going to find a way to get it clean and get it together. Because if you kind of think about it, that's kind of what the Perk did last year. Because like I said, they almost just jumped out of nowhere. And then they rolled the wave, and then the next thing you know, they're taking home to Sanford. So,
yeah, that percussion won San Antonio last year, and that's when everybody's like, "Where did they come from?"
Yeah,
like came out of nowhere. So it's exactly what you said. It's tough. It's like, man, you just want to see it. It's like
ninth in GE, tied for 8th in visual, and then 8th in music. So,
And guard, they're sitting 10th. So
Killing them.
That's the guard and perk are lower than what they're used to, I think.
I mean I think last year, and I'm not saying Cavi's percussion has been bad, but last year was an anomaly for them to win.
I'm not saying like they should be like top, but like usually they're sitting, you usually sit them like 5, 6, something like that,
Yeah, this year though.
This year, man, their perks are just fire.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think they just can't get it. I think they just can't get it clean.
It's hard. They're trying a lot of stuff.
If you dissect some of that stuff in the front, I've looked down there. I'm like, bro, that's hard.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it ain't clean.
What are you doing?
A spot, Blue Stars, 84.938. So not too far ahead of Cavi's. You got a little battle there.
Like it better than last year.
Yeah.
Just it's a controlled show for me. I like it.
I'm not controlled. Let's use that word. I don't want to use the other word because it sounds demeaning. So I won't say it. Controlled is a really good word for it.
Reminds me a lot of that the War and Peace show.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing like jumps out just being like, whoa, but like it's solid. Like
I don't know, War and Peace is better than this one.
I'm not saying I'm saying like how it's like created and how it comes off. Like,
the aesthetic that it is.
I just wish they did different music. I think that's what my problem is.
I think Ethan's comment on the live stream was pretty accurate. They had to go safe this year because they had a down year last year, and they needed to make sure they kind of righted the ship some.
I don't care about none of that.
Is that what Ethan said?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Huh.
I don't care about none of that. I don't care about being safe. None of that
All
stuff for the sake of design and
War and Peace had a lot more Easter eggs to look for than this one does. I feel like this one's just kind of straightforward. It's like planets.
Who pointed out the color guard uniforms?
Me.
Zach. Yeah.
That okay.
But other than that, I haven't really seen. I don't know.
I get it. I think you would have thought that they would have had more Star Word titles. I think they could have used that Kendrick Lamar scissor a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. The Coldplay kind of.
I'm not a big Coldplay
little problematic.
All I know is that I want their props, and I've been talking to try to get them because those props are awesome.
So, big jump, and then 7th place Mandarins, 87.225. 7 GE, 6 visual, 7 music. Actually, tied for 7 for music with Vanguard. So tied for 6 in music. Sorry. So
it's I like it.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it.
Mm-mm.
I like how it opens.
Mm-hmm.
Do I? I don't know. I want to like it, but I also want Vanguard to beat them because I think Vanguard shows better.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not afraid to say that either.
And still like their show.
Well, I think
okay, but here's the thing: like, I think I like it, and it's done well. But it's like, I don't know. It's something about it that I'm just like, I can take it or leave it.
I think it was you and me talking. I don't know if Seth was still there when we were talking about the feel of the show. Maybe you were there, Stan. I don't remember. And how a lot of people aren't maybe gravitating to it because they don't feel like it's true New Orleans or something like that. And we were talking about the different levels of what New Orleans has, and stuff like that. And like people have
y'all were talking. I was there. I was just listening.
I didn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah. Okay. I heard you talking about it.
I think a lot of people expect it to be more Bourbon Street, and it's
Yeah.
not more. It's not really Bourbon Street. It's more like French Quarter history aspect than Bourbon Street and Voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like a whole day. It's a day in basically. It's a
Mm-hmm.
day in New Orleans, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
or a night maybe.
All
I don't
right.
know.
I feel like
Okay.
It feels more like it's a night.
Yeah, I can't tell from the
The way
props.
it ends now.
I know the
Yeah.
prop at the end
Yeah,
gives the illusion of
the way it
something.
ends, it may be more of a night. Because New Orleans is a pretty calm place during the day. Then them
Yeah, it is.
busking people get out there when the sun goes down and starts getting crazy.
Yeah.
It smells like pee
Bro,
too
it
during the
gets
day.
loud.
Listen,
Yeah, it just smells like
we walked down there in the day when
Vomit.
nothing was happening down on
and pee and poor decisions.
And that's the best description of New Orleans at daytime I've ever seen in my life.
one specific portion of New Orleans, not all of it.
Yes, no. Like we said, New Orleans, you can go 2 blocks in any direction, and it's like you're in a different city.
Yeah. That is so true. Because I remember when I went down there, we were walking around. I was like, okay, Bourbon Street, this is Bourbon Street. And then, like, you turn the corner, like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Like, where did this come
Lake, river, and all kinds.
Yeah.
And then the
We're
big
like,
market and all
like-
that stuff. Yeah.
Like, skyscraper built. I'm like,
I got 37
Am I-
food trucks in line.
I'm like, what is, where did this come from?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I need to go back.
If you get lost, just follow the trail of powdered sugar back to the Cafe Du Monde.
Back to Cafe du Monde, yeah.
No, I didn't like Cafe Du Monde. That is
Mm.
What?
What? What are we wedding?
you good? What
Yeah.
is like?
Powdered sugar? What?
Yeah.
You didn't like
Powdered
Cafe du Monde?
Yes, I said, and if you get lost, follow the
Yeah, but
trail
Chris
of
said he
powdered
didn't
like
sugar back. No, he
I
said
didn't
he
say that.
did.
Oh, I
like
thought
it,
you.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you
It's-
said you
it's-
didn't.
It
Oh,
sounded
no.
like you didn't. It sounded
No,
like you said you didn't.
Let me be clear.
I love Cafe Du Monde.
Okay. I was like,
blasphemy! Get out!
I was.
Turn the
That's
screen
all-
off.
I was about to like, how do you kick somebody out the party?
That's
That's it.
come to my
The
house
show.
and choke me out, man. Oh,
The
God.
show. I'm
You
leaving
just see me
right
come up
now.
behind you in your camera.
Uh-oh.
I'm texting
you
your
just
wife
say?
right now and telling her to come in there and smother you with a pillow for
Gee,
saying
I,
that.
was, I sure heard didn't. I was like,
She
what?
has mixed feelings about Cafe Du Monde because of what happened there. She loves the place, but
Too many birds.
a event happened that
Oh.
changed her career course. So,
Oh yeah.
but she loved the powder sugar.
Were we there? Was I with y'all when that happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
All right.
This is like, right?
I mean, we're like, Vanguard, right?
I hope you fine.
Speaking of changing course,
Vanguard
Wow.
sitting 6 with a
God.
87.525.
Slim.
Listen, came out and just
Mm.
pat, 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 pat.
I'm sorry. I love it, man.
I
love
did
that
too.
show.
Dude,
I love that
it-
show. I
It's
hate
grown
that it's
on me a
not
lot
doing as
since I
great,
first
but
saw it.
it is brilliant in a lot of aspects too.
Dude, when they
'Cause
pull out
I'm
those
not trying to
at
figure
the
out
end,
none of that
when they pull out the
Yeah.
huge flags with that pop of color at
out
the
of
end.
nowhere. Yes.
Oh.
That's the thing. So now that I know that they're pulling the stuff out the backpack, to me it's even more impressive because it's like, how does that fit into that? Like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in it. You got sabers, rifles, swing flags, all kinds of stuff in them little bags. I'm like, okay.
so they're first of all they're doing, and we're talking about the color guard. They're marching all of this stuff with all this crap on their back, doing all this dancing and equipment work and all of this stuff. It just made me appreciate it more. And that was the first group that from front to back showed me emotion. That emotionally had me invested. You know, troopers at the end are like, yeah, all right, you're about to blow my face off. Cool. But like But Vanguard, they just came out in that first hit. I was just okay. Okie dokie.
Dude, it was like the last time they came out in finals, like they knew that the spot they were in, and they just laid that show down.
Yeah. So, sitting 6 GE, 7 visual, and tied for 6 with Mandarin and music. So, percussion's keeping them alive. I just don't see how they're not scoring higher content brass.
I don't either.
You know, I can give you maybe a lower visual score, but I'm still trying to figure out the brass things. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, top 5.
Come on. Do it. I needed
The
that.
Velvet Knights are sitting 15th.
Oh my god!
Star of Indiana. Here we go.
That night, that'd be so far from the truth. Phantom Regiment sitting 5th.
Ooh, you
Big
talking about
number,
making
like
the
big-
crowd go crazy.
Do that show.
89.625.
Dude, we get to see that this weekend.
I do get to see that this weekend.
Ooh.
Live and in person.
I might run on the field.
Oh
Uh-oh.
gosh,
Okay.
I'm leaving him.
Can't say don't get arrested.
That's
Fifth
right.
and-
They don't have security. What are you talking about?
5th in GE, 5th in visual, 4th in music. So that listen, it's good.
That 4th in
It's-
music is real.
It's good.
I mean, they beat. Can we just talk about for a second?
okay,
They
sure.
beat Crown in music.
That's what a podcast is for.
Like I know, but that just like we talk about like
And honestly,
That's-
they're not that far behind him in GE either.
no, like I mean, like that music. Their beat is crazy. It just blows my mind. And like in brass, Carolina Crown's 18, in brass, Phantom Regiment 17.9. Insanity. Just
All
like
I-
that.
Good.
I was just gonna say,
Yep.
yeah.
That's
No,
all you gotta say. That's all you gotta say.
no. Honestly, I had them beating Crown easy.
I think so.
I did
yeah.
too.
I had
think
them
we all
beating Crown
did.
easy.
I
think we all
mean,
did.
I don't think it's
I
out
don't
of the realm
know.
of possibility.
But here's the thing: I don't know what's gonna happen. I would like Phantom to beat him in finals. We know how things go and how stuff gets twisted, but especially this show,
I have a feeling
numbers,
Crown,
a lot of numbers, and them placements should have been different.
I
Especially
feel
them
like
two.
Crown, it might take this and they're going to pedal to the floor.
Crown might still have some cards left to play. I don't know
Yeah,
how much
I
Phantom's got
feel
left.
Crown's gonna try to do whatever they gotta do. It's like cabbies. Like they're gonna clean, they're gonna do blah 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 blah. But it ain't better than Phantom, bro.
Crown's
No.
going to have to
Phantom still-
literally create fire on the field.
I've said that.
I'm
I've also
serious. There's-
said that I feel like they need to light up the little
Tower or whatever.
tower
they got.
thing,
Yeah.
like the little outlines on the side. That needs
Yeah.
to be LGB, and they gonna need to light that up. And needs to be red and fire or whatever, because they've
You
changed the
mean
color of the props and they changed the uniform and all that. All right, all right. But
LED, you mean?
RGB.
RGB?
I said RGB.
I think you said LGB. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What
No.
are you talking about?
Uh,
Sorry, RGB. Okay.
But yeah,
I don't know.
it's kind of getting into that. We'll just merge them together. Crown finished 4th, to the confusion to a lot of folks with an 89.925. So 0.3 between 4th and 5th, Crown and Phantom.
I don't see how you have them above Crown above Phantom in visual. I don't see that. I don't.
Maybe because the Phantom may not be as clean with the boxes and stuff, and Crown's kind of got a safer visual package.
Crown is very precise. They
Dude,
are.
that
They just-
vertical block that they hit and it comes through the middle, it's solid every time. I haven't seen it messed up one, but ever since I figured out Phantom blocks and how it's like the beginning is like a brain, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty like smart because it splits out right, and each section is like a different part of the brain. Where so I was like, okay, now I get. Because remember, I had said something about it. I didn't
Yeah.
get the what's the names. So yeah,
Such a smart show, man.
it is. But I think, I mean, that's tough. We got to move props like that and be integrated in them and stuff like that. So
It's-
I can understand that.
Crown's guard is the gap in visual.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Oh
because
yeah,
they got
big
second,
gap.
didn't they?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
half a
huge.
point.
Yeah.
Oh,
That-
yep, there it is.
It's a
I've
half
said
a point
that.
gap. They split proficiency and analysis with each other, but the guard gap is real.
Yeah.
and I can see that. But like I said, Crown just does what they do really, really stinking well, really
Yeah.
well, and it's just
It's gonna be tough.
It is. It is.
Don't-
They're going to have to find a way to get the people excited,
Yeah.
Yes.
and I don't know.
Phantom's gonna have
We
to
don't do it.
have maybe one thing a little extra, and then just balls to the wall at that night,
Yeah,
and just go for it, and then
Crown is gonna bring
hope
Zeus down from Mount Olympus,
literally like the real one.
the real Zeus.
He's going to just float now.
Hercules.
And then third place.
Don't even get me started on this either.
All right, so I won't say it. Second
Blue
place.
Devils.
Third place is Boston Crusaders, 91.85.
It literally says Blue Devils.
And second place, right ahead of them, and I mean
Boston
by
Crusaders.
this much.
I know you can read, man.
91.875, so 0.025 gap was the Blue Devils.
They scared.
And you know who they is.
Yep.
They is scared.
Do it.
You cannot tell me
Do it.
those changes that Boston made in their show couldn't put them over the top, man.
It's one judge.
Yep, one judge.
Well, okay, so here's
I mean,
the crazy part.
Stop
Look
being
at it
trying to be
recast.
the moderator.
there's a
man.
gap in brass too, though.
That's my job.
Stop it.
Try not to be biased. Blue Devils did beat them in GE
Judges being biased. I don't know why.
by 0.05. Boston actually tied BD, even with that one visual judge that had beat Boston fifth. I believe it was visual proficiency. Boston was still second, or tied, with BD, and then Boston beat Blue Devils in music by 0.025. So the gap was more in GE, which it typically will be because there's more points available there than it was in music.
Listen,
I was going to say this real quick. I don't think Boston will ever finish visual fifth again.
They shouldn't.
I think that was an
if-
outlier.
If Boston's guard and percussion weren't smacking everybody, this wouldn't even be a conversation.
Yeah.
That's what kept them as close to BD as they are.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I feel like that they will continue to sweep those two captions.
Well, they're splitting GE, which is good because that's where Blue Devils usually would.
Yeah.
They usually shine in general effect, in visual proficiency, in visual guard. Those are the things that they normally are smashing everybody at. And so Boston's getting them in guard and hanging with them, and if not, sometimes beating them in GE. Their perk is beating BD's perk consistently. The brass book, what was their brass number?
BD was 18.7. Boston was third with 18.3.
Okay, so they did beat them in brass.
Yeah. BD was first overall in brass at San Antonio.
Okay. But I don't know. But that's this is what we said we wanted the captions to be, like all over the place. And
I will say what's entertaining about this is, I mean, we haven't got to Blue Coach yet, but like almost every single core is competing with another core at this point. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
nobody's like straight across the
No one's
board.
yeah.
Sweeping.
I mean, Coach are kind of have put themselves a little ahead above people at this moment.
Mhm.
But at least every other core, they're competing against somebody, which is what you want to see.
Yeah.
Going into
There's
Worlds.
lots of battles now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got a 2. You have a 2-3 battle. You can say 1, 2, 3 if you want to, but
Yeah.
it appears to be 2-3. 4-5 battle, 6-7 battle, 8-9-10 battle, 11, 12, 13, 14 battle.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
15, 16 battle, 17, 18 battle, 19, 20, 21 battle. So
Yep.
everybody's trying to get in their tier. So,
Yep.
And then your Southwestern champions with a record-breaking San Antonio score of 93.025. 93.025. The Blue Coats winning all captions, not all sub-captions, but winning all captions. That's huge. And winning each caption by
A lot.
a decent margin.
A lot for this moment, yeah.
I feel like the judges are finally realizing, like, okay, all of this electronic brass book stuff that they're doing is hard as crap.
Yep.
Like
it's the whole show motto.
The effects don't work if the kids can't play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, does this feel to you guys, and this is how I kind of feel, like this show is, even though Downside Up won it for them, right?
Mhm.
Does this feel like the culmination of all those years? Like this is like the payoff show for all, like from like even before that. I'm gonna say I can say till like those shows and then stuff after Downside Up, like Recession Forward, all that, and like we're starting to.
I think there's a couple exceptional years in that streak, but I mean, like I don't really think like when you think about being innovative and all that stuff like they've been doing, I don't really consider the Beatles shows as the
Nah, I think it gave them the
envelope
idea.
pushers. You know,
that's what I mean. Like this show is like we're taking all the stuff that we've done innovation wise, and we're putting it together.
Well, it's like I watched the anime Food Wars, and it's like Yukihiro Soma. Every battle he went through, he learned from it to help him in the next battle, and he always kept doing that to make sure he got. And by the time he got to his ultimate dish at the end of the series, like it was a combination of all of the techniques and things that he had learned along the way. And I think Blue Coats does that so well. Is let's try this thing. Okay, this thing worked well here, but if we tweak it, we can make it. So I don't want to say culmination because culmination makes it sound like it's the end.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
This isn't even their final form.
Exactly. I think they're going to continue to push the envelope. It is funny though that somebody brought up like the last time they used this color scheme was Downside Up, and he basically won. And Tip had that color scheme, so they like that. They like that color.
Mm-hmm.
It works for them pretty.
They said
pretty well.
Downside Up and make it red.
So, but it's just a lot of good stuff. You get the show. It's a show like this should be confusing, but they make it make sense. Like they make it make sense. Like that opening segment where they're just playing the unison chords, and something like that somebody may notice because he's talking about how we start out in a singular form, and as things change we have this order and we get all this stuff. And if you notice, they do all of this stuff on the block. The moment a section, that first line steps off, they start doing which sounds chaotic.
Yeah.
While the people still on the block are still playing these block chords and hits.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's brain. That's brain. That's
GE out the butt.
That's GE, and that's visual, musical, and emotional, intelligent design. And they do mess like that the entire show. For 11 and a half minutes, they are throwing that down your throat. and they're executing, which is the scary thing.
It's
Show's dirty, man. Like in a good way. Like it's. I mean, shoot,
it's this good, and I don't. The only like I think BD. I don't know what else they can do. They have the Crown Syndrome. It's good and it's really, really stinking good, but I don't know. I don't know if they can catch them. I think the only group that can catch them is Boston. I think if they the only ones that can add some more crazy stuff to their show to get their point across.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, I'm not saying Blue Coats will go undefeated, but somebody may catch them somewhere. But that show's really
It's gonna be
good.
tough.
That show's really good.
we'll see. Like Allentown. We'll see where that ends up because I don't know how that's staggered. I mean,
Yeah.
Blue Coats and Boston will go together, won't they?
It'll go odds and evens.
Yeah. So at this point,
So whoever's
Yeah.
sitting third will go head to head with them.
yeah. So we'll see what that. Yeah, we'll see what Boston or Blue or BD. I don't know. It's just that show's just. I mean,
But you've seen those cats twice and put a point on them both times.
yep.
That's hard. That's hard to do. So I don't know. It was a good week, man. Drum Corps, listen, Drum Corps is good this year. It's really good. And there's and for as much as people talk about tradition, and these are like almost like most of these shows are like traditional marching band shows.
tradition.
Like, you know, if you take away some of the electronics that Blue Coats is doing, they're still marching and playing their butts off.
They're not marching xylophone.
No,
I don't care.
they ain't gonna do that. But there's a lot of really good shows out there.
They be the ones that do it.
They'd figure it out.
I would love to
And
see
like
them
it.
like just come full circle. It's like, oh, you want us to be retro and like do like a retro show? That'd be really funny. They'd be the ones that do some crap like that.
Yeah. But they march and they play. They march and drill, and they're playing music. And like, I'm sorry, but that's what you expect out of a good drum corps.
I mean, that's one thing. Like you can say about Blue Coats, like no matter how much stuff they have on the field, they're still marching a lot more than a lot of the other corps that are around them. You know, like they march a lot. So I think that's why everyone loves them.
Yep. All right, Zach, one to watch.
You already know. It's going to be on Saturday, July 27th, the Southeastern Championship. So last weekend was Southwestern Championship in San Antonio. This one's Southeastern Championship in Atlanta, Georgia. So almost everybody will be at this one that was at San Antonio. I mean, a couple of groups we know stopped their tours and aren't coming this far east. But it's going to kick off with Atlanta CV, then Genesis, then Spirit, Academy, Crossman, Colts, Blue Stars, Mandarins, everyone's favorite intermission. If you haven't seen their new closer yet,
Oh boy,
Fire.
tears.
Can't even.
Listen.
and then following up with that, with big shoes to fill, will be Crown, then Vanguard and Phantom. And then Blue Coats, Boston, BD, and then you have the Spirit of Atlanta Alumni Corps for an encore before the scores are released. So
That grouping, did you say it goes Vanguard, Crown, Phantom? Was that what
Crown, Vanguard, Phantom.
you said? Woo! We
So
might see it happen.
I don't know. Good.
If Vanguard is kind of close to Crown, Phantom will beat Crown.
I about to say Vanguard needs to make them forget Crown went on.
Yeah.
And then by the time Phantom goes
And if
on,
they do that, Phantom,
it's a fresh slate.
Yep.
Yep,
Interesting.
it could happen.
Hey,
And
bonus.
then you got Blue Goats going on after Phantom.
I ain't gonna do nothing but piss them off for the next 2 weeks. It's like, God, bitch. So we gotta leave this bigger gap between these.
If you're in that audience, you're gonna pass out.
Right?
She'll be like, oh my God, the fan goes, oh my God, fan. Oh!
Yeah.
And then here comes
Yeah.
Boston behind. Like, here we go.
Yeah, you get woke up and like, okay, Boston? Okay.
We'll have to start passing out waivers at these shows.
Right.
A side note.
Side note.
I know, but Friday, July 26th, we will be at Murfreesboro. Zach and I will be there. So if you see us there, say hi.
Yeah.
I'll let you boys.
If
I
you
would not
are
be there probably.
planning on attending and you want to arrange a meetup or something, you need to find us on the socials and hit us up.
Yep. Where are those socials said?
Those socials are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also listen to our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Why don't I say I? Apple Podcasts.
Hey, also, big ups. We're over 300 subscribers now on YouTube.
We did it.
Thank you all for
Get us
that.
to 400.
Yep. Now
Yep.
400 is a goal. Tell everyone you know to subscribe. It's free. Doesn't
Everyone,
cost
have your
a thing.
mom make a YouTube account and subscribe.
Uh-uh.
Watch us a few times. Get some numbers.
You can do what I do with podcasts. I'll usually start it and then I'm doing something else while I'm listening to it on my
All the
on
time.
stuff.
We got some
So-
good growth on Spotify and Apple too. So like we're doing some good things because you guys for sure.
Yeah, the social interaction's been great. The comments on the videos and on the social media outlets and on our watch party stuff. So I know some people asked about watch party this weekend. Probably not this weekend.
Yeah.
But we'll probably do one of the Allentown shows, just to get ready for that. And I don't know. I may do semis or prelims as well.
We're going to do a
when I get off
podcast
when I
during
get off of
finals.
work. Do a live podcast.
As we're
A live
in-
blog.
We'll hold the mic over the railing and ask the rack player how they felt about their run.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Excuse me,
The
I know you're
staff
crying
sits
because
right by
your season's
us.
over right now, but just tell us, how do you feel?
I wish I was one of those people that like
Got a
didn't think
boom
that
arm
people
out
was
there.
bothering because the staff sits right by us.
Yeah.
They come up staff, and I just went, but hey, you want to say something about your group real quick? But that's just weird. That was like we met the Funliner dudes last year, and I was like, they don't care about us. They don't. I was just like,
Those guys are like Super Saiyan God
Yeah.
over here. Like
What's your part?
Not Yamcha.
Gotcha.
Hey,
Hey, can he be 10 or no?
Oh,
Oh,
Krillin,
yeah.
Chaozu, somebody. Yajirobe,
no, Yamcha.
Corwin. Can we be the cat? Like,
Can we be dead Krillin?
Dead?
Love
Be
that
dead
Krillin.
Krillin.
Which version of Dead Krillin?
Which version of dead Krillin?
Dude, it still gets me every time I watch Dragon Ball. It was when he penetrated, like poked through Frieza's horn, and he's like,
Oh.
ah! He's like, ah! Dude, I laugh every time I watch that. It doesn't fail. Never fails.
Oh, man. All right, well, that was your anime minute for the
You can
podcast.
find us on our next episode of Behind the Dragon Ball.
Uh-oh.
You could probably do that too.
Probably
We
good.
are versatile.
Yes.
We can go in a lot of different directions. Well, guys, if y'all don't have anything else, make sure you watch those shows this weekend. Flow is flowing. They had a great sound setup this past weekend. They did an excellent job. So shout out to Flow for taking care of business, and I hope you guys keep it up. But for Will, Zach, and Chris, my name is Seth. It's been another episode of On the Back Hash. You guys take care. Go watch the show. Drink lots of water if you're teaching band camp or you're doing band camp, and all that good gravy. So from us guys to you guys, we are
Dud out.
Yeah.
out.
Out.
Jesus, what time signature was that?
Right.
Blue!